kind of accidentally pushed the wrong button. Hey guys, on Periscope, welcome to another awesome episode of L.Shima's Be Cool, episode 5. Yes. Sorry, stream 5. Let me get Periscope's angle a little better. Hey, Zachary! So, welcome everyone. And let's begin. So I hope everyone that lives in the United States had a fabulous Thanksgiving over the week. And for the ones that don't live in the United States, I hope y'all had a fabulous week nonetheless. My week actually was not bad at all. I went to Francis's Irish side of the family, and there was a lot of people. I'm used to more of like a very intimate 5 max kind of family, but he has a huge family on both sides, his Irish and Mexican side. So it's kind of crazy for me to memorize all of the family members' names. So I think I did good on the Irish side. I think I've got it pretty set as far as their names go. I'm about to, next month in December, around the 12th or so, I'm going to go to Rock Island, Illinois to visit his Mexican side of the family because his grandpa is turning 103, I think. So yeah, it's a huge situation. They're having like a family reunion / birthday celebration for his grandpa, and so all of his Mexican side family members are coming. And I think that's, they have more family on that side. So I'm like, oh my god, okay, I'm going to have to remember, not only his uncles and aunts, but to also remember their kids, and then also their kids' kids. Like, I know I'm not going to be able to memorize every single person's name, but I'm going to try. Like, I really like to try as best as I can. Yeah, I know, 103 is a crazy age. I mean, I can only imagine. Like, it's crazy when we think, like, I start thinking about it because he literally lived during the 1920s and the Prohibition era and a lot of things. He saw a lot of shit go down. Nonetheless, I mean, he was pretty young when that happened, but still, nonetheless, it's freaking insane that he's lived to 103. And he's, like, actually really, key, like his memory is perfect. He lived all the way by himself, like in his own house, I think all the way up until 101, 102. So, I mean, he's now just moved into a family home, but he's still, and he, I mean, Francis says his, I think his hips or his knees or something is kind of weary a little bit, but otherwise, like, his memory and everything like that is perfect. I mean, his hearing's a little off, but it's gonna be a little different for me because I technically only have one living grandma, and I never see her because she's on my white side, and I have no special ties to my father. So, I don't see her at all anymore, and even if I did, she's probably around like 70, 80 years old, nothing in comparison to 100, but even nothing in comparison to like 90 and such. So I'm not really used to being around elders in that sense, and so the idea of being near somebody that is very hard of hearing. So, like, they're not deaf, but they just really can't hear. So I'm kind of, like, nervous because Francis's parents was kind of giving me the down low on, like, you kind of have to talk pretty loud. And I can manage talking loud normally, but purposely, like, trying to, like, basically scream to try to at least hope that he can hear a few words of me or from me is kind of, interesting. I don't want to, like, I feel weird for, like, screaming at somebody when I shouldn't be screaming. So that will be very interesting. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm excited to meet his other side of the family. Hopefully, I will not make a fool of myself, and yada, yada, yada. So, alright. So, yeah, I hope everyone had a great week and Thanksgiving. I did mention on Instagram the topic of tonight, which is going to be all about the boobs and sexuality and art. So that means boobs, butt, figure, things along those lines. So it's going to be a very interesting episode. I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. For whatever reason, either I'm just super cold or I'm really nervous. I know I was definitely nervous before the show started, but now I can feel myself kind of shaking a little bit, and I'm not sure why. Because usually by this point, actually, I always get nervous before every episode. But right now, I don't know if I'm just shaking because I'm a little cold or if I'm actually nervous for whatever reason. I'm not really sure, but it happens. I get nervous for everything. So don't be weary if you think you're the only one nervous. Okay, but before I wanted to start, I kind of wanted to throw a couple things that thoughts and opinions and excitement that I have. So one of the thoughts that I've had, and I just wanted to share it with y'all because it's one of those rants, I guess you can say. So Thanksgiving was on Thursday, and ever since I don't know when, we've done Black Fridays, right? And that's, if you don't really know what Black Friday is, which I'm sure somebody doesn't, it's basically a time right after Thanksgiving, so always on the Friday, where a lot of stores and companies will do like a crazy discount sale, like to the point where almost everything is super cheap and all this other stuff. And people would wake up super early because it would be just like, I don't know where we got this tradition from, but we would wake up super early and head to Walmart at 3 a.m. in the morning and wait in crazy lines just to get a TV for like $200. So it's crazy that, and I've actually participated in a couple, for a couple of times. I've only participated in once where I actually woke up like at 3 a.m. in the morning to wait in line in the cold and get like excited and like elbow people and stuff like that to get like a Wii. I think that's what I was going for. I was trying to get a Wii. And I liked that because it was just like this weird adrenaline. But it was only 1 year and it was my first time and I just kind of was like super excited about it. Ever since then, I don't really technically participate. I'll go thrift shopping. Me and Francis kind of make that our tradition. We'll go thrift shopping because like Salvation Army and Goodwill and St. Vincent de Paul will have like their own little special deals, and we do nothing but thrift shopping. So that's kind of one of our little things. We're not technically spending that much money. Like everything's $1 and or 50% off your entire purchase, off already like a super cheap fucking like item and stuff. So it's not like really that crazy of deals, but it's crazy for us. We're like, yeah, 50% or $1 for a t-shirt? What? So anyways, I wanted to bring up the reason of Black Friday because now it's not even Black Friday anymore. For the fact that now these places are having their sales start on Thursday. That's cool and everything. Like that's kind of awesome that they decided, oh, well, we noticed a lot of people are either having issues waking up early or whatever. You might as well just have it on Thanksgiving Day and people, will come in like at normal hours. That's fine. That's cool. That's understandable. Like, I get it. You're trying to also get your money, company. I'm not going to hate. You found a loophole. That's cool. My issue? Stop calling it Black Friday. It's not Black Friday if it's on Thursday. Like, I just don't understand it. If that's the case, call it Black Thursday. I don't really care. Just don't call it Black Friday if you're going to have it on Thursday. Like, it just makes me a little insanely mad. So this is my little rant. The first rant that I'll ever give y'all. I'm sure it's actually not the first. I'm sure I've done other rants. But anyways, because like I was on Hulu and a commercial came on and like it was like Macy's or something. Macy's opening up on 6 p.m. on Thursday for Black Friday. And I'm like, no, please just... I don't care that you're open at 6 p.m. I don't care that people might leave Thanksgiving dinner just so they can go get the deals. I don't even care that you are making these products purposely for Black Friday, so you're making them the actual price of that selling price. Like, I don't care at all. I understand the reason why you're having it that way, but please just change the name. And like you said on Periscope, and they're having the Black Friday sales all the way up until Monday. Like, it's cool. That's awesome. I'm not going to complain that, like, there's sales all this weekend and stuff. But, like, change the name. Like, maybe, like, just say Thanksgiving Savings Day or Thanksgiving Awesome Day or, like, I don't even know. But it seems like also there's a few countries kind of joining in on this whole Black Friday thing. So, obviously, I don't think Thanksgiving should be the name if it's going to be in other countries, unless, but whatever. Nonetheless, change it. I just can't. And I mean, I feel like some people might disagree with me or whatever, but nonetheless, that was my little rant. And to bring up a positive note on that, has nothing to do with Thanksgiving or savings. But for me and Francis and a few other Detroiters might feel like this is very awesome. So, we like to indulge in a feast of Vietnamese food here and there. We started in Austin, going to like a place called 666 that they would have pho and stuff like that. And then we moved to Sarasota. There were three Vietnamese spots near where we lived. One like literally was 5 minutes away, and 666 actually in Austin was like a walk distance from where we lived. So we were very fortunate in the situation that there was always a Vietnamese spot near our house, or at least near where we lived. I don't know why I'm shaking right now. Anyways, and so we got here to Detroit, and one evening, like, within a week of living here, we're like, oh, let's get some Vietnamese food. Let's find a place. There has to be a place in Detroit that has Vietnamese food. We looked on Yelp and Google Maps and all this other stuff. Lo and behold, it finds out that there's absolutely no Vietnamese food in Detroit proper at all. We have to, and it's not like we live like in the boonies of Detroit or anything like that, but we have to drive at least 30, 40 minutes away just to get Vietnamese food, which is in Troy, Madison Heights, which is like north of Detroit, which sucks. Or it's technically closer. We could just cross the river and go to Windsor, and they have really bomb-ass Vietnamese spots too, but you have to technically pay $2 to get into the border, and then $2 to get out, and then you have to make sure with the whole, because some Canadian Vietnamese spots don't offer credit cards, so you have to make sure you have Canadian cash, and sometimes they accept the US dollar, but sometimes they don't, so it's like always one of those like finicky moments where you're like, do I want to really deal with that? And so that was always unfortunate for us. We're like, damn it, like we just want to have some Vietnamese food, some pho, some bun, and we'd have to drive pretty far out. Well, we went to IKEA today. I'm so old. We went to IKEA and had a time and a blast buying adult stuff. And so we ended the night with getting some pho that was near the IKEA area. And we were just sitting there enjoying the meal and stuff like that. And we noticed it said on the cash register, what do you call it, like desk or something? There's a little sign that says, check out our new Detroit location off of Woodward Ave. And we're like, where is that at by any chance? Because Woodward is a super, like if you recall my Detroit episode, I think episode 3, I discussed about Detroit, or episode 2, I think it was 2. Anyways, I discussed about Detroit, and Woodward is like the main road of Detroit, and it goes all the way up from literally the Detroit River to all the way up to, I think, like Flint, Michigan. So there's a point where Woodward stops being Detroit and ends up being like Ferndale and Royal Oak, and then it starts going to other cities. So I was very curious on when they said Woodward, if it was actually Detroit proper itself, or if it was actually going to be like Ferndale and Royal Oak and stuff. Well, turns out it's actually in Detroit, in Midtown. I'm super excited. I'm super happy. Yes, I'm so just happy that there's finally a Vietnamese spot. Super excited. Now, if only they can be like an authentic Japanese restaurant in Detroit itself. Like there's ones where it's like Thai with Japanese, like sushi, or Korean with sushi. Like that's cool. But I want like an authentic one where they sell like katsudon and gyoza and like sushi, of course, and some other Japanese dishes. Alright, I just wanted to throw those little tube tidbits in there. So yeah, today's episode is all about boobs. My boobs aren't even showing. Boobs. I kind of wanted to get into this topic because it is always fascinating how certain people perceive the human anatomy. That being with boobs or with ass. We now have these world star type models that have like these super large asses that make your brain just like pop with an explosion because you're like, how is that even physically possible for a human body to be that skinny but then have like a big booty Judy type of situation? Um, so I was just wanting to actually kind of go along those, see and hear y'all's thoughts towards it too. I'll start off with a question just for y'all. Do y'all prefer boobs or ass? Just to see what kind of where you stand as far as the human or female body goes. I mean, you can also like ass on males sometimes. Males have a really good round butt sometimes. You never know. Or legs. That's true. Legs also is a really nice body part. Any body part that you actually, on any human, you find very fascinating or sexually attractive and things like that. Sorry, hold on. I wanted to check just to make sure my Ustream chat was properly working. So hold on, give me a second. There we go. Sorry. You might have heard. Sorry. Pulling this up real fast. That's why my Ustream chat was not working, so I could not see anyone on, I was like, that doesn't seem right. I mean, not saying that there always has to be somebody on, but hold on, guys, sorry. Just gotta get this readjusted so I can see it. Yeah, I was not seeing any of y'all's questions, Kyle or Anonymous. It was really weird. It felt like there was something wrong. Okay, so yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, so I was very fascinated with it. And usually with my episodes, especially with Be Cool, I like to keep everything PG-13, which I found out it's technically not PG-13 since I cuss quite often on the show. But I don't like to really go into too much topic about sex and things along those lines. But this episode, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm not going to go super deep. Like if there's a question I don't feel like answering because of that, I won't answer. But otherwise, we're going to talk about pretty much sex in a certain way. So I've been modeling for 5 years. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm Shima. Nice to meet you. I'm a full-time model. Yeah, I've been modeling for 5 years, and when I first started, I did artistic nudes and glamour. My past episode, I discussed my transitions and stuff like that, my thoughts towards those genres, and all those yada 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 things. But basically, I kind of was well developed, I will say that. I found out from friends and such that I had a nice rack. I did not start out that way. It was not one of those things that I was just given naturally. Like, I don't really recall when it actually really happened. I think around freshman year of high school is actually when my breastises started to grow. I was trying to think of a better word than grow, but I could not think of one. Anyways, so it was around, when I was in freshman, I think. But before then, I didn't think anything of my boobs whatsoever. I thought they were just normal. I kind of was envious of other people's or other girls' boobs and things like that. I remember when I was in elementary school, I had this friend back then, and it was really weird. For our age, being in elementary school, she was definitely well developed. Like, I mean, not like this, like, double D size, but she was at least, like, already an A cup when we were, like, 5. So it was super weird, but I asked her, why, like, how does she already have shape in her chest? And I remember clearly, and I actually did it for a while, but she told me that she would just, like, every now and then, like, she would just kind of, like, massage her, like, her chest area and just keep doing that for a very long time. And so there was a moment where I was just doing that, like, I'm like 7 and just, like, rubbing my chest. Nothing was happening at all. It was just, she told me, so I believed her because she had it, and I just kept doing it. Not like throughout class and stuff. Like, it would be in my own room at night, and I just would randomly just do it. Nothing sexual or anything. Like, I wasn't feeling any weird feelings at that age or anything along those lines. But it was just one of those things, like, somebody tells you, oh, you go to China and you eat, like, penis balls and stuff because that's supposed to enhance your sexual desires and stuff. You might do it, but doesn't mean it's gonna work. So that's kind of the similar lines. I would just kind of do it to see if it actually worked. Who knows if it actually did. If you're 5 right now and you want to give it a try and do a scientific study on it, feel free to. Just do not tell your parents L.Shima made you do it. But anyways, I would try it, and I felt like nothing happened because I stopped doing that like when I turned 7 or something. And then I just never really messed around with it and let my body naturally develop in its own way. But I remember also the first time I got a sports bra, which was supposed to be a big thing and everything like that for girls. But I felt like I developed very late in life. Like I didn't start my girlhood, the period stage, the nasty stage, the annoying stage, until I was pretty much older, and a lot of my friends were already starting and having these stories and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I'm just here and nothing's happening. So my development was kind of slow, very eased into it. I realized it started happening around freshman year of high school, and that was when my friends were telling me. I didn't think I had anything fascinating or interesting to show off. I just thought I was normal sized, but as I got older, my friends start telling me like, "Oh, Shima, you're very well full in that category and stuff like that." And so it took me a while to fully actually realize it, to the point where I think it took me all the way up until meeting Francis to like actually fully understand that my boobs were pretty, not huge, but decently big. I don't think my boobs are any bigger than majority of a lot of females. That's just my brain and how my brain works. I see other girls, I see a lot of them being A cups and B cups and stuff like that. But it's not, I feel like when I look down, or even when I look in the mirror, I feel like they look normal to me. Like, they don't look enormous or anything like that. And I'm not, like, jealous of any kind. I don't think I would never want to get a boob job. I don't see a reason for me to scale up at all. And I don't see a reason for me to go down. I know a few models and just females in general have mentioned that they've had like back problems because of their well-developed chests. And I do have upper back and neck issues, but I don't think that's related to my breast. It's just more my posture and constantly being on the computer and growing up not really paying attention to how I'm standing and sitting and things like that. So I don't think my boobs are causing any physical issues with my body or anything like that. It is very scary having boobs sometimes, because like there will be moments where you have to like self-evaluate yourself for cancer and finding lumps and stuff like that. There was a scare that I had back in Florida where I was feeling my boobs just to check, just to see if there was any new lumps or anything like that, and I did feel like kind of a lump on my boobs. But it was symmetrical. There was one on each side, but I was still really nervous. And my mom's a nurse, so I like texted her. I'm like, "Mom, I don't know if I have like cancer or anything like this." She's like, "Well, if it's symmetrical, there's really rare that you actually have cancer because of those lumps, but might as well just get it checked." So it's also weird going to the doctors and having the doctor feel me up too. It's just a little weird. But she's like, "Yeah, I don't think there's anything serious with it, but just keep an eye on it and see if anything changes, or if anything, just whatever." So nothing has changed, so I think I am A-okay. I do need to get a mammogram, actually, now I think about it. Need to make a doctor's note. But anyways, so yeah, I've just been very fortunate. Like, I actually enjoy my boobs. I enjoy it to the point where I feel comfortable with them. I will flaunt them whenever I want to. This outfit, what I'm wearing, is probably roughly around the most flaunting that I actually will give to my boobs. I know a lot of girls will actually like super wear like mega deep V-necks and things along those lines. And I necessarily don't. I just like earlier today, I was wearing a turtleneck, long sleeve. Nonetheless, it was cold outside, but still, there are girls that it's freezing outside, but they'll still flaunt their tits as best as they possibly can. And I wanted to, kind of like, usually when these episodes, I wear like a little bit more fancier shirts and stuff like that, but nonetheless, I don't really flaunt them as much as a lot of other people do. And I think it's kind of how I just like about myself. Like, I don't, because I know there's, and I think this is why I'm getting nervous, because this is a very interesting topic that I'm trying to speak about. I don't know. I feel weird. But anyways, I know there's a lot of females that like to flaunt what they have, and I think that's awesome. I wear tops that will flaunt my breasts, but there's nothing that I feel like I need to do that. Every outfit I have to have needs to showcase my my breasts and things like that. It's more that I feel comfortable in, because if you've watched other episodes, you know that I actually love being clothed, and it's just one of those things where if I have it, you have that saying, if you have it, flaunt it kind of thing. I just feel more comfortable wearing whatever I think looks best on me. So if that means a turtleneck one day just looks best on me, I'm going to wear a turtleneck. If that means just a regular t-shirt looks best on me, I'm going to wear a t-shirt. But one day I might feel like I want my boobs to breathe for a little second, so I might try to wear like something more sexy. Or if I'm trying to dress to impress, trying to look kind of a little bit nicer to people, I will wear something a little bit more risque in that sense. Not saying like I'm wearing like pretty much pasties and undies and that's all I'm wearing, but I'll wear something similar to this where it shows a little bit more skin than what I naturally would put on. And there is an interesting thing, which you would think as a model, I wear certain outfits, especially as a nude model and a glamour model. I wear certain outfits that make me stand out a little bit more. And I do for photo shoots. But when it comes to my natural L.Shima time, my personal time, I wear things that, is whatever I feel comfortable with on that day. But there has been a lot of people that will naturally just go and wear these deep cut shirts or these really short shorts to show off their other attributes to also get things in return. Meaning they might go to the bar or the club or other areas that they assume their body parts will kind of give them things. And I've never personally seen it done. I've heard it being done. And it's the issue that, it's not even an issue. There's girls that find a loophole through it and they use it. That's cool, right? If you can get into free things because of your body, use it, I suppose, if it's working, right? I'm a little different in the fact that I don't do that. I get very, nervous. I don't know. I don't feel like using my body to try to get things. Like, it just doesn't seem right. I use my body for photo shoots, but that's a completely different thing. I'm not using my body in a sexual manner. When I go to photo shoots, it's more on an artistic integrity. I'm going to create art. I'm either going to show off a piece of clothing or a fabric or work my body in a certain angle that makes it interesting more than, hey, look at me, I'm a sexy thing that you want to probably jack off to or whatever. I know when it comes to glamour photo shoots, those tend to be the reason towards those photos, meaning when you see a girl with their, or even a guy, but mostly with a girl, when they have their chest out and their ass out and their stomach sucked in and they have this really nice posture to their body, I know those tend to be more related to sex than artistic nudes and fashion and things along those lines. But that's not my first instinct when I go into a glamour type of photo shoot. I'm doing it more because of the idea where it makes me feel sexy more than I have the idea that somebody is going to be doing something with these photos later in their own personal time. I know that happens. I have no issues with it. Don't show me a video of you doing it, but I understand that it happens behind the scenes, on the other side of Tumblr and all that other stuff. But realistically, when I go into a glamour shoot, nowadays I don't go really much into a glamour shoot for my own personal being, but when I have a certain opportunity for it or things along those lines, I usually get into a mode that just makes me feel more confident and more sexy in my own skin. And I feel sexy and I feel confident and naturally, but it's just a more amplified version of it. And that's the only reason why, or not the only reason, but that's what I kind of feel. I'm not aiming for sex when I do my photos, especially glamour. But some people think so. Like, oh, well, L.Shima, you shoot nudes and you shoot glamour. You're just trying to do this and this and this. It's not the case. It's definitely not. And if you still think it is after watching these episodes or even just being part of my social media, sorry to break it to you, it's just that who I am, and it will never be who I am. Hopefully not. Maybe one day. Maybe I will change one day and just be this whole sexualized person, but until then, it's not going to be like that. Another reason why I thought it was fascinating is not only do people use it to their advantage, but a lot of viewers or fans will, and I use quotes because with my fans, the ones that actually, or ones that go on my episodes and actually sit down and watch them and talk on Tumblr and Instagram and actually follow me throughout my entire career, they're more like supporters because they're supporting my work. They're actually being there from day one, or not even until day one. But to the idea where they're just kind of helping out and being very supportive and stuff. Fans, on the other hand, are the ones that just like a certain thing of me and only want that and only that, and if I don't give them that, then they will just leave me. So they're not really ones that I feel are well worth it, in my opinion. They're helpful in the sense that it comes to numbers, and I'll talk about that one in a different episode when it comes to numbers. But it's funny because there'll be a lot of fans, like one on Periscope, you just mentioned that sex appeal and modeling go hand in hand. We'll get a little bit deeper into that. But fans will assume that a lot of nude models and glamour models, when it comes to photo shoots, they always wonder, oh, well, do you sleep with all your photographers? Or they'll go to the photographers and ask the photographers, oh my God, you shoot with all these gorgeous models. I'm sure you sleep with every single one of them. And it's crazy to me that that's the first instinct that a lot of people have towards modeling and towards, glamour and nudes. Now, I am going to be honest with you. I am not going to say that does not happen. I have heard of a few individual people, models, photographers, artists, things along those lines, that end up sleeping with certain other artists. That's their own personal judgment call. That's on their own life. That's something that they have to deal with on their own. Me, for an example, though, that never happens. Never. And for other models, and I'm not going to say that every model and every photographer and every artist sleeps with one another. I'm not going to say that. Majority of models and photographers do not sleep with each other. If they're a professional and they like to get their shit straight and they want to make sure that they're in it for primarily art purposes, they will fucking never sleep with their fucking workers. Point blank. You're going to go to a business, you're not going to go and start sleeping with your boss and your coworker and all these other people that are involved with the business. But it happens, right? I've heard stories on Reddit and other things, even before I started modeling, working at normal jobs. I've heard stories where people shack up in goddamn cleaning closets and stuff. It happens. People are sexual and they will do whatever they want to do. But I am fired up on the subject. But I, for one hand, and most models and photographers will not sleep with their workers, the other person that they're working with. There are, again, instances where it changes. I know a lot of photographers that are married to a lot of models, and I'm dating an artist who I actually worked with him prior to us dating and stuff like that. Like, it happens. I know it happens. But it's a little different. Like, when me and Francis started dating, I lost my job for him. Basically, he fired me so we can start dating. So, like, I didn't keep working with him in the sense of, like, his job and everything like that when we started dating. But it happens. There's attraction sometimes where a model might go into a photo shoot or a photographer, vice versa. But if you're professional and you're on your shit, you will know what is right versus what is wrong. Point easy. So a lot of y'all are all not a lot of y'all, but most of y'all kind of ask, oh, well, I just assume y'all always, pretty much jackrabbits. You're fucking all the time, and just horniness is running through your brains. You see a girl where she's wearing just nothing but a bra and a thong on. Like, there has to be some urges. I'm sure there's urges for people. We're humans. It's natural. But it doesn't happen as often as you're either thinking or even hoping. But nonetheless, it's very fascinating to me that when I've had heard that there are people that use that to their advantage is very interesting. Like, there's a book, actually, I can't remember the author, but it's called Models. And it's a book that kind of gets deep into the fashion industry of modeling and things along those lines. I do believe it's written by a photographer. And he basically mentions that a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot of, but certain models have reached the career, point where they stand because they slept with a certain hierarchy of individuals to reach that point. I get it. It happens. It happens in normal jobs. When I say normal, I mean like things that's more of a not really an artist career, because I'm not saying artist is not normal either, but I'm more saying like businessmen and or businesswomen or lawyers, doctors, things along those lines. Like, I know that ends up happening. I've heard stories, like I mentioned, but it's just, again, if you want to be professional, you don't do it. If you find attractiveness towards somebody that you're working with, you have to use your own judgment and figure out what is best, but nonetheless, I would advise you not to do it. If you really feel like in the best nature you want to do it, then either fire them or quit or somehow don't have a work relations with that person before you do start relations. But it's interesting because there are people, and I'll get back to the boobs, but there are people that will use their body for advantages. So say, a girl that has a very voluptuous bottom piece to them. They will actually wear outfits that kind of correspond to show off that attribute and go to either an opposite sex or even a same sex and kind of lure them with that part in hopes that they will get something for it. Again, I don't have a negative view towards it. It's more the idea well, you got it, you flaunted it, and you found a way to get something out of it. That's how they wanted to live their life. That is on them. That has nothing to do with me. You're not going to trick me because your body part might be attractive. You can't show me your foot and I won't be like, oh my God, that's a gorgeous foot. Do you want my necklace for that foot? I'm not going to give you free things because of a body part. But that's personally me. But there are people that will kind of fall for that. And there's nothing to say much more about that. That's very unfortunate. But they found a way to get through it. And it's the fact that I've had people too, foot. I'm sure that happens. And there's foot fetishes, and so people really are attracted to feet. And they, I'm sure if they found the right foot, it has to be a hell of a foot. If they found the right foot and they were like, hey, I will give you my house if you let me just touch your foot. Anyways, I'm going way off page. But yeah, I kind of was going to go off on another tangent, but a related tangent, and now I forgot. But nonetheless, so there are a few models that I know of. I wouldn't say that I fully knew, because there's a couple where I've talked to, but there are a few models where they are known for their breasts and they flaunt it purposely during photo shoots or during their business of work and things like that. And then there's models that just happen to have the boobs. So there are models, and I'm trying to think if it's best mentioning, because not that it's, what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't want, every time I do my episodes, and I was telling Francis this the beginning of the week or so, that every time I do my episodes, I kind of try to censor myself, not obviously with cussing and stuff, because I will fucking do that, but more in the sense that I know there's a lot of people that will basically end up getting butthurt. I'm trying to think of the word, but I can't think of the word. So some people will feel offended. Oh, God. I feel so happy that I finally figured the word out. There will be some people that get offended with certain things that I say. It happens. It's the idea that, everyone has different thoughts and opinions and stuff like that through their brains, and they hear me, and they're like, Shima, you're fucking wrong, and then they start getting really upset with something that I said when I meant honest, no harm towards it. But I wouldn't imagine these people would have any harm towards what I would have to say, because it seems more accurate nonetheless. But anyways, there are models that have worked and they actually understand that they have breasts, and they use that for them as an advantage. I'm not saying in a negative way, but they use that as an advantage, meaning they'll go to photo shoots and their boobs will be the key part of their photos, or their ass will be the key part of the photo. And one of the models that I'm like thinking of, just so you can kind of get an idea if you're still not really understanding me, is like Tessa Fowler and Leanne Crow. Those girls are super. I've talked to Tessa Fowler. She's really super sweet. But when you look at their photos, a lot of them will, the first thing at least I see, a lot of y'all might disagree with me. Feel free to. And she might disagree with me too. But a lot of the photos that I see of theirs, you look at them and the first thing that I see is boobs. And they don't even have to be completely nude or anything like that. When I look at their photos, the only thing I also see is their face, if they're showing their face, but it's just boobs. And it doesn't mean that their boobs, they are fortunate that they do have big boobs. But even if they didn't have boobs, there are certain models where they'll try to use a certain body attribute kind of because they know that's what works, or that they know is what grabs the viewer's attention, and they're just grabbing them to kind of get the numbers. And that's kind of why I also say fans, because the fans are the ones that kind of are the ones that they're aiming for, the people that only they see that ass and they're like, ooh, yeah, I love that ass. And then they have you because it's the fact that you really felt attracted to their body part that they're flaunting and they're showcasing the most of, and you kind of are sitting there loving every second of it because you're like, oh man, I'm in like the glory world right now because I love ass or I love boobs, and they're doing nothing but showing that attribute of theirs, and I'm loving every second of it. This is amazing. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how they work. That they found a way to work and found a loophole with it, and they're making it work. It's one of those things that happens. But that's kind of the extent of I wouldn't say of their career, but in my opinion, that is the extent of their career. They are getting known for one thing and one thing only, and they're using that to their advantage, but it kind of sucks at the same time, in my personal opinion, because, and I like to categorize myself into the other opposite one, the one that actually just happens to have boobs. There are moments where I will flaunt it, like right now, I will flaunt whatever I have at the second. It's not a lot, but I'll flaunt a little cleavage. But when it comes to my photos, I try my hardest to not make that body part the main view from the photo. Now, I happen to have boobs, and they happen to be a little large, on the larger side. So when I'm wearing a regular V-neck, crew neck, or V-neck shirt, if there's cleavage, there's cleavage. If there's a big round, part coming outside of the shirt, it's going to happen because I have bigger boobs. But I'm not trying to make those be the main focus. Same goes for Emily Hold on, I'm going to try her last name. Emily Ratajkowski. I think I pronounced her name right. She also has really large boobs. Same with Kate Upton. Kate Upton is on the borderline because she's, doing runway shows and doing these very editorial shoots and things along those lines, but still will kind of showcase that, she has boobs. She'll do a lot of very prop the boobs up kind of outfits, which is totally fine, but she's around the borderline, but more that she just happens to have boobs. And it's one of the things that people on that side of the field are trying to overcome, because there are moments, I will be able to grab viewers because of my boobs. I've done that. A lot of my Tumblr's from that. A lot of my Twitter. Oh my god, you should see my Twitter at one point. My Twitter feed was nothing but porn sites because there was a moment, and again, I'll get into this for another episode, but I found a loophole in the fact where I would use my boobs as an advantage. I noticed that there were a lot of certain people that's what they loved, and that was kind of what worked. But that was the reason why. It's because for social media purposes, and again, another episode, I may do it maybe 5 or 6 if I don't get a guest, or it will be 7 if I can get a guest. I'll let you know. But nonetheless, it was the idea that you use your attributes to your advantage. But with us, or with people that used it for a split second and then decided, or, kind of changed the game, it's the just idea that, we just happen to have it. We try our hardest to kind of use it in a certain way. So there will be times, I do a glamour shoot and bam, there's boobs in your face. Or it's a simple nude shoot, or the photo I just posted on Instagram. You want to go check it out? Go check it out. Obviously, that photo screams boobs. I'm pretty sure you see that photo and you're like, whoa, there is 2 huge jugs dangling from your chest, Shima. I'm not sure if you noticed that or what. But yes, I did notice it. And I posted that photo in relation to this episode because I thought it would be definitely one of the topic kind of things. That was during the time before I did the transition into the more fashion route. But I have no regrets towards that photo whatsoever because, again, I have boobs. I know a lot of my fans love boobs, so kind of, sometimes I'll post super, super boob photo. So hold on. So you think you'd be where you are modeling wise if you didn't have? Okay, I'll get to that one. And sorry, somebody posted a question on Periscope, and I wanted to read it real fast before it left. So there are points where I would, post an image because I knew a lot of my fans on like Twitter and on Tumblr are there primarily because they like my body. I recently, and I mentioned this in another episode, but I recently did a Snapchat. I was a Snapchat guest for a Tumblr site called Booty Optics. And obviously their name says booty, right? Majority of their users were people that enjoyed the female body to the extent that they really loved the derriere. And some of them would still like, breasts and stuff like that. I think my ass is pretty normal. Like, it's not huge. It's not big booty Judy huge, but it's not, flat or anything like that. So I'll flaunt it here and there. Not as much as my boobs, but I'll flaunt it here and there. So when I was part of this Snapchat takeover, it was interesting for me because I don't flaunt my ass as much. So it was a new change trying to get into that mojo. But it was interesting because while I was doing the Snapchat, and this was my first time ever messing with Snapchat, so I didn't really know. I was kind of experimenting with them at the same time. But I would keep constantly, doing a quick video and just talking, and then, do a cute selfie with my face and my boobs. And then later in the night, I might do more of a lingerie type of thing where it actually shows off my entire figure and stuff like that. Well, the last day, and it kind of messed my brain up a little bit in the idea where the owner basically told me, hey, Shima, I appreciate everything you've done with this episode, or, this takeover and all this other stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. But there are people that follow my, Snapchat because they want to see a certain body part. They want to see girls naked. They want to see girls in lingerie and looking, very sexy and not, I wouldn't say slutty, but they would just want girls very rawr, want to tear into your skin and devour you and stuff. And so I'm like, well, damn, that kind of sucks because I enjoy talking to the people that are looking at my work. I love doing that. So when he informed me that there are people that don't like that, in my mind, I'm like, I know that happens. I deal with that on a daily basis. But then part of me is like, but I just want to change the world. But I realized that there are people that just want that. They follow you for a certain reason. They were attracted to you from one photo only, and they're hoping to see constant similar images from that one photo. But models like, Emily Ratajkowski, and hopefully me, because I'm getting into that type of genre, we try to still show you, hey, we still got boobs. It's not going anywhere, but to also kind of break boundaries, try to get into the more fashion route and do things that are a little bit different than just like, hey, here's tits, and then my face is like way back here, but hey, there's tits right here. So it's just an interesting split between certain models when they do have a bigger bust. Now, to answer your Periscope question, he basically asked, I do believe you were here, I can't remember what your username was, but they basically asked if, would my modeling be where it's at, or I'm kind of like, changing the actual words around. But basically the gist was, would my modeling be different if I didn't have the boobs that I had? And it definitely, in my opinion, would. The reason why I say this is I believe any person could be a model. Now, there are certain ones where you'd be like, oh, Shima, I'm looking at myself right now. I don't think I could be a model. I honestly think if you really tried, I really think you could. Not saying modeling is super easy, but as long as you have a unique, interesting face and body, I honestly think you could try. It's a lot of hard work, trust me. But if you give into all that hard work and you gave it all what you had, I don't care what you look like, anyone could be a model. With that said, there are models, and we'll use females because, again, we're talking about boobs. Men can have boobs, but this is a little different. We have two females. We have a female who is, we'll say, a size 3, so she's probably around 5'8" as far as height goes. Very, has a very 8-hour figure, Coke bottle figure. What do you call it? That figure, the hourglass figure. God, I was like figuring this word out. They have the hourglass figure, but they're 5'8", and they have a nice, round hips and round breast area. But their breast, thank you everyone on Periscope. Yes, it's definitely hourglass. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. But their breasts are a little bit more on the flat side. And then you have a model who might be still 5'7", 5'8". They also have an hourglass figure. Their hips might be normally sized, but their boobs are probably a size F. So obviously you see these two females, we'll say they're twins. They look exactly alike. The only difference is their boob cup size. One's a cup size A, one's a cup size, what did I say, F? Obviously their boobs are a lot different, but everything else is pretty much the same. You have, we'll give them A and F. Person A, person F. Person A does more of glamorous stuff. They're wearing lingerie and things along those lines. They can be sexy, right? There's people that are into very flat-chested girls. I sometimes would love to be flat-chested just for the purpose of being able to not have to wear a goddamn bra. God, I envy that part. But then you have model F, who also can wear wear lingerie and do glamour photo shoots and still look sexy. Because there's people attracted to bigger boobs. Both girls can do the exact same thing, and both girls, it technically can still work. Now, the part where I think it kind of changes is when you kind of are involving nudity or even lingerie, but it's also the more idea where you're doing fashion. For a prime example, so say model A is wearing a blazer with no bra, so it's implied underneath, but she's wearing a blazer underneath and black fitting tights. And model F is wearing the exact same outfit. They do the exact same poses and everything like that. What I've noticed, and again, if you don't, if you have your own opinions towards this, by all means, I give you applaud on that because you see things a little different than me, and that's totally fine. But what I've noticed is models that happen to have a bigger bust size or even bigger hip size, when they're doing the exact same thing as a model with a smaller size, it's a little bit more sexualized. So I will try, me personally, will try my hardest to do a photo shoot similar to, let's say, I'm trying to think of a famous model that is more on the flat chested side. Naomi, no, what's that one girl that's in Star Wars? She's like notorious for not her actually. Damn it. I'm trying to think of a model right now. Oh, okay, perfect. Actually, there is a model. Actually, Adrian Ho. Her breasts are not as. I wouldn't imagine her breasts are as big as mine. She's a lot smaller. Like she's super skinny. Not super in a bad way, but like she's just a lot skinnier than me. So I'll do a photo exactly like hers, wearing a sports bra and wearing running, jogging pants and running tennis shoes with my hair in a ponytail, exactly like hers. But my photos will definitely be a lot more sexualized because I happen to have more cleavage when it comes to the sports bra. I honestly am not sure why that happens. I've tried to tell myself that it's just based on when people see boobs, they see, I can hear my dog being outside. Anyways, when people have boobs, we kind of see because growing up we were breastfed. Not everyone was breastfed, but basically the idea of having boobs meant like, you were able to have a baby and all this other stuff. And sex does sell, yes, that is correct. But even if I'm not trying to sell sex, so I'm honestly just trying to sell athletic clothes like Nike and stuff, people will still see, even if I'm doing a Nike photo shoot and wearing Nike clothes and stuff like that, they will still see me with bigger boobs, being a little bit more sexualized versus a girl that has a lot, less boob mass than I do. And it's just interesting how that goes because I even do it. I see a girl posing and she has bigger boobs and I'm like, not constantly thinking sex, but I'm like, in comparison to the twin that's doing the exact same thing, it's a little bit, you see the bigger breasted girl or the more full-figured woman, and you're like, that's a little bit more sexy. Like, I think that, and it's not even the idea because, again, there's people that are attracted to flat-chested girls, and I feel like that's a wrong statement. I shouldn't say flat-chested, but smaller-chested girls, and it's just interesting how that works. We see boobs, and especially if they're bigger and fuller, we instantly think of sex, versus when we see a smaller chest girl and doing the exact same thing, nudes and all, we don't see sex as much. And I don't know, and I would love to have actually a girl on here, or a model on here that has different proportions than me, and kind of seeing what their thoughts are towards that issue, because I've realized what works for me, and boobs do rule. I'm sorry, boobs do rule. I like boobs. I like butts, but butts are a little bit more interesting to me. But realistically, I'm curious on what their thoughts, if they've had trouble trying, because I've had trouble doing fashion shoots and not having sex as the first thought with it. But I wonder if they've had trouble doing, more of a glamour shoot and trying to portray sex on that. So I'm very fascinated. I definitely should be, I'm going to write that down. That's going to be a question that I want to ask them because I'm very curious on how that differs for their career versus how that is like for me. But that's one of the things where I really feel is fascinating. If y'all have an answer, I mean, y'all say sex sells and all this other stuff, which is completely true. Boobs are a trigger for most guys and girls. But there are people with, larger, that are attracted to derrieres and such things like that. But it's still so fascinating that happens. And every time I'm looking at things that kind of correspond to that. Boobs give life. Yes, that's kind of what I thought, is because boobs give life. We see a full-figured woman, we just automatically assume she was able to give life. She was able to breastfeed and things like that. People are saying find a curvy woman are very sexy, and I agree, but I also feel like not curvy women are sexy too. It's just because everyone has their different mindset. A lot of y'all are saying curvy girls are sexy, or at least you find curvy girls sexy, but there's a lot of people that find the opposite. They like, very skinny girls that are very tall to be a lot more sexier. And it's just interesting that still can be the case, but the fact that boobs still play a huge role in sex sells is very interesting. Like, even if the A-cup model was completely nude and her boobs were all out, it still wouldn't sell as much sex as if it was the F model, all naked, boobs out. It's just interesting how that works. And it's one of those things where I'm very fascinated with it, if you cannot tell. It's just me and Francis, too. Because I've had a few people, and after this one, I'll kind of read Ustream chat, because I've kind of missed quite a lot from y'all. Derek, Kyle, Justin, Dewan. I'm sorry, I'll get y'all, I promise. But basically, a few people have asked me, how does my boyfriend kind of feel about it? And I will be straight up, he loves my boobs. Literally, before the episode started, I caught him literally looking down my cleavage. It happens. Like, he still does it, and I kind of, like, hit him on the head for it. I'm like, hello, kind of, I know you're dating me, but my eyes are still up here, honey. Doesn't mean you always have to look at me like this. I'm not a sexual object. So it still happens. My boyfriend loves them. I know a lot of other people love them as well. It's just a thing that I'm kind of used to by now. I don't like it when it's obvious. Like, again, like, my boyfriend will do it where it's quite obvious, and I'll straight check him for it. I'm like, excuse me, can you stop? So he's my boyfriend, and I still check him on it, but that means I also do not like random strangers just obviously, like, looking down at them. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I rarely wear things like this, because I just get very subconscious or very awkward about it when especially I notice you're checking me out just for that. So that's also why I like to hide myself, because I don't want to be known just for my boobs. There was a nice thing, or not, a very interesting post on Reddit, or one of the answer comments on Reddit, that somebody said that their father always taught them is if you're wearing a very, like, so, like, you know, we understand the idea of a clubbing outfit, like, for girls. If you're wearing a clubbing outfit and that's how you met your, you know, your partner or whatever, keep in mind that that is what they're going to be attracted to the most. So I kind of worded it so bad. It wasn't worded like that, but basically meaning, so say I was wearing a super slender, sexy, boob showing outfit in front of Francis. We'll say in front of Francis. That's how I met him. Any girl can wear that exact same outfit, and if he was attracted to me based on that outfit, then any girl can be wearing that exact same outfit, and they might be attracted to that. Versus if you're wearing, like, a turtleneck and, like, a sweater and nerdy glasses and makeup and stuff, and they were still attracted to you then for the first time, it's a little bit different, because they're actually looking at your natural self instead of a self that you're kind of making yourself all dolled up and trying to get your boobs out and trying to look all sexy and provocative and stuff like that. And it was kind of funny running joke, too, because people started commenting on the guy's side, oh, if you dress rich and sexy, then that means a girl is only going to look like you because you're looking rich and sexy. And so they were kind of, like, joking about that. But I thought that was a very interesting point, because it's the fact that, and you said yes and no, but it's just, like, the kind of the idea. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but it was an interesting idea that, yeah, if I, you know, wore certain outfits that showcased certain parts and highlighted, you know, putting makeup on and made myself purposely look prettier than I naturally do, this significant person might only be attracted to that self, because that's the first thing that they saw of you, and that's what they first got attracted to. And so they're kind of like, I really like when your eyebrows are like this, and I really like when your boobs are out, and I really like when you're wearing tight clothes, is because kind of that's how you met. Now, again, yes, that's a yes and no kind of situation, because I remember I met Francis wearing this super tight, literally a super tight dress and everything like that, and he was attracted to me then, and he's still attracted to me now when I'm wearing, like, baggy clothes and absolutely no makeup on, and my hair is looking like a crazy mess. A guy will still know if you have a large ass or larger breasts despite your clothes. A guy probably would. I would agree. Doesn't work the same way with girls and guys wearing pants, because we will never know, no matter what. But for guys, for sure. Unless, and it's funny too, because that reminds me of another episode, or another thing. There was an episode on Family Guy. I just always think it's funny. There was an episode of Family Guy. I think there were Russians. There was a guy and a girl, and it was dead middle of winter. And they're wearing, you know, these huge fur coats and stuff like that. So their shape is like almost like a triangle. And so the girl and the guy are both, about to get it on because they were very attracted to each other. And so the girl undraped and took off her jacket, and the guy was like, yes, because she was perfect. Literally, well, quote unquote perfect, but she had perfect breast, really small waist, and good sized hips. And he's like, yes, it's amazing. Underneath all of that, you actually still had an awesome body. And then the guy took off his clothes, and the girl's like, oh, because he literally was a triangle shape. He was just big and obese and just not what the girl wanted as far as perfect for her mind. And so it's funny because, like how you mentioned, no matter what, guys will always kind of know what the size their boobs and butt are based on no matter what their clothes are. But except for the winter, because a lot of us girls are completely super bundled up, and you sometimes never know. Unless there's such things called sweater puppies that Francis now tells me, because that's when you're a girl and you're wearing a sweater and your boobs are big enough where you can still tell that there's boobs underneath them. I just learned that not too long ago, so that was a very interesting new word. Alright, so cards. I want to kind of get into the Ustream chat just to see what y'all are chatting about since I'm so behind. Hi, Kyle. Yeah, you're pretty loud. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you're wearing headphones, I apologize. And if you're trying to watch this secretly while, somebody else is in another room, I'm sorry. I'll talk like this now. Can you hear me still? Or am I still loud? It's kind of weird to whisper because I feel like my voice is going out. Let's see. Kyle was mentioning that the Asian peeps live this way, which is up north in the Troy, Madison Heights, Flint area. And they also live, well, no. Yeah, more Madison Heights, because it's filled with Vietnamese foods over there in Madison Heights. Sorry. This is old messages, people, so give me a moment to kind of catch up. Anonymous says, I'd say I like booty just a little more, but I won't deny either. There's a lot of people that actually like certain attributes more than others. And I honestly, I would rather pick boobs than ass. I watch a lot of the World Star videos, like the Vines, just because they're very interesting and funny sometimes. And so they always start off with, funny Vines, people doing silly stuff, or sometimes they're really fucking rude stuff that they think it's fucking silly. It's not. But anyways, I still watch them, and then they'll start off, then kind of change into the fighting ones, which is very God. And then they'll end it with the big booty Judies. I like to use that term. It's just not saying that, in a bad way. It's just it's easier for me to kind of say that they have big asses. But they'll get to that part where they're twerking and dancing and shaking their ass and stuff like that, to the point where I'm like, how are their bodies working? How is that? What? Because some of them, look, obviously, if you want to ass, you gotta go work for it. You gotta go and do some squats and some lunges and some crazy other shit. But then, nowadays, you can get butt implants. That's a thing now. It's really weird and apparently super dangerous based on certain things that I've watched, but I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, that's the thing. So it's really weird now because you're like, so her tits might be fake, but her butt might be fake. But yeah, they'll be doing the butt dances and stuff, and I'm like, this is weird. Do y'all understand that poop goes on? Sorry. I know a few people that love butts, and Francis has butts for him is not as huge as boobs are, but he still likes butts. And so, but it's just in my mind, I'm watching these girls twerk, and it's literally up their ass, and I'm like, I know you don't think this, but as a girl, I think this, and you're aware that there's moments where they're on the toilet with that, and you're still up in it, but hey, what else? There's people that are interested in it, and I'm not gonna hate on it whatsoever, because if I loved it, I would love it. And there's times where I'm like, although perfect shape in my mind, there's no such thing as perfect, we all know this, but a perfect shape in my mind is the hourglass figure. But there's certain chance where that's a little extreme, when your hourglass is literally huge and then skinny and then huge. That's a little too much. I just like a good portion of just a good. But some people like it when it's just enormous, and I'm like, all right. There was a post I think on Instagram where like, somebody super photoshopped it, but it was funny that they're like, in 10 years, Instagram girls are gonna look like this, and literally, their boobs was normal, but they mega pinched in their waist, so literally their waist was like that tiny, and then their butt was like normal sized. So it was just really funny that I can see that one day with all these waist trainers and stuff like that. The hourglass shape is super gonna change, and it's gonna be interesting. Interesting. If you talk to Francis, he thinks we're just gonna all be controlled by robots, and the models is gonna be robots because nowadays girls' bodies are fake anyways. That it's just gonna just jump ahead and be robots. It's very interesting with his mind. I'm very fascinated when he talks about that because it's just interesting to hear his thoughts towards that. Anyway, sorry, I just kind of went on tangent. Let's keep going on Ustream chat. Let's see, where did I lose? Yeah, where did I lose? Okay, laugh aloud. I was on Periscope, but I figured this would be easier. So, random note, Ustream can be easier because you can be on your computer, you can also be on the app, and you can also have the chat. So if you like, typing your chat instead of using your thumbs, it can be easier that way. The only unfortunate part is Ustream has ads, so that's not really fun. I think somebody mentioned, maybe Kyle, can't remember, mentioned Ustream's app, though, does not have ads. Weird app ads. But Periscope, you don't have ads at all, so you can indulge in all that. But some people don't like watching on their phone. I don't know. Do whatever works best for you. That's why I have it on Periscope, and that's why I have it on Ustream for all of y'all to enjoy whichever way is easier for you. But I just assumed maybe Periscope was easier as far as not having ads, but I feel like Ustream, I would rather go on Ustream, but that's just me. Preferences. Okay, let's see. Being black, I love by default. Oh, I love ass by default, but I am. There's censorship on fucking Ustream. So, being black, I love ass because there's 3 asterisks. So I just assume that means ass by default. But I am a boob person. I don't know. It says it's asterisk O asterisk. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's you, Kyle. So please see if there's another term that there's like a little cheat code that I can use on Ustream that allows you to allow censorship, but I don't know that cheat code. So, all right. Let's see. Also, if you're 5, your destruction advised. Mild to R rate. Yeah, if you're 5, your destruction advised. Discretion. God, I could not say the fucking word. Yeah, mild to R-rated language. I'm sorry, I cuss a lot. It happens to the point where I accidentally do in front of kids, and I kind of feel bad afterwards. I'm like, oh, shoot. Sorry, child. I've gotten a little better with it, but not the best. Like, if I had a child, I'm pretty sure I would still cuss around my child. And I still feel like I'd be like, Timmy, you better not fucking cuss. Stop fucking cussing. I don't know what I would do, but I just think it's funny because I just like cussing. I don't know. It's fun. It's like smoking when you're like under 18. It's just fun. It's not saying it's a good thing. It's just fun to know that you're like breaking some type of law. Although cussing's not really a law, but whatever. Okay, back to myself. You're happy with yourself. That's a good thing. I am happy with myself. I think I'm glorious. Get with the program. No, I'm just kidding. I think I am attractive, and I like certain parts of me. Some parts I don't like, but I love myself no matter what. And if I don't like it, I'm never going to change it. I realistically am not. I'm not going to get plastic surgery. So if I don't like it, I just got to make sure one day I'm going to live with it and love it. So that. But I do love myself, and I love y'all because you love me, right? Right. Like what parts? I don't care for my nose, but a lot of y'all love my nose. It was funny. Because I don't know why I don't like it. I just feel like it's too wide. But again, I wouldn't. Okay, I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna get plastic surgery for that. I cried when I had to get my wisdom teeth removed, and I cried when I got my root canal done. There's no way in hell I'm gonna go to get surgery when it does not need to be done. So it was funny though. Like all of y'all are saying, I dig your nose, and your nose is awesome. Thank you. A lot of y'all love it, and it's crazy. But I was on that Snapchat takeover, and so a lot of my selfies were like this. Few comments were like, the nostrils, because like my nostrils are pretty big. I mean, look at it. Aren't they sexy, right? But my nose, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. But nonetheless, I'm gonna accept it. And there are moments where, like right now, like on Periscope, I actually don't mind my nose. But then on Ustream, I can see how red it is right now, and that's kind of being, because I just did that. So that's kind of like, stop being red. Anyways, it's my nose, and I like my eyes. I like my mouth. My waist can be better, but I'm working on that. So that's just something I can work on. My nose I can't fix, but it's just really my nose, honestly. I think everything else fine. Everything else is fine. I think my teeth are fine too. I mean, I have a fake tooth right here, but nonetheless, it's fine. Okay, that's it. Let's see. Sorry, still reading Ustream. Hold on. I'm not day one support. I joined a bit late, but I'm the Justin says he's not a day one supporter, but he's a little late. But he's still a supporter nonetheless. He is, because I see you all the time, Justin, liking my stuff and being on Ustream. Trust me, also, for those that are just curious or very interested, I'll get to your answer. I know who my supporters are, and I know who my fans are. I know the ones that actually are liking a lot of my work, and you don't even like, because I understand when you don't really like an image. You don't have to like it to be like, I want to be a Shima supporter. I'm going to like this even though I don't really like it. You don't have to do that, honestly. Seriously, if you don't like a photo, don't like it out of the purpose that you want to be a supporter, because I kind of know my supporters based on certain things that they do, meaning they will sit down through a whole episode of Be Cool and seriously watch the entire thing. Or not even, you don't even have to be watching the entire thing. Just showing up once and then leaving. You can be that. Like, I will seriously, I just know it's weird, but I know my supporters. And I appreciate every single one of them. Seriously, like, y'all are the reason why I'm doing these podcasts, because it's for you. It's for me too, you know, I just want to show off and look pretty and all this other stuff. But realistically, it's actually for y'all, because I appreciate it, and y'all make me laugh all the time, and I like talking to y'all, and things like that. So I know who my supporters are versus my fans, and I'm appreciative towards my fans, but in a different way. And again, I'll talk about that in another episode. I'm kind of excited for that episode, because that one can be super controversial. Yeah, you know what I mean. Let's see. Derek says, I was gonna say I don't see models doing it so much, but I was gonna ask if you see or feel that photographers do it more so. I feel like you are mentioning about the sexual people that hook up. I don't remember. Sorry, Derek. This is like literally an hour ago, and I'm just trying to catch up with all the messages. Let's see. Hi, Dewan. Kate Moss is a good example as far as a girl that does not have very well developed. I wouldn't even say well developed, but like bigger boobs. God, I should just stop trying to censor myself with like getting people mad. I should just say it. Whatever. Flat chested. Who cares? Because I know honestly I don't mean no harm by anything words that I say. It's one of those parts though, I just don't want to offend anyone. That's going on my mind, because I want everyone to love me, and I don't want anyone to be mad at me, and so I want to say things that people are going to be like, I agree with you, Shima, or you're so awesome, Shima, or like, I can't be mad at you, Shima. She got mosquito bites. See, okay, that would be a little bit more like borderline or actually offensive. I wouldn't say that. You're more than welcome to say that, and I will just say what you say, but like as if I'm reading it. I don't think I would say that. I would feel like I would offend somebody based on saying that, but that's just me. Again, I'm very paranoid with offending people. Kyle says, it's funny, after following, I don't find you as sexy. Aww, you find me exactly, Kyle. That's No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Kyle, it's funny. After following you, I don't find you as sexy. Of course, I do find you very attractive, but it's more different. Like, you don't even seem like a central person, to be honest. It's all about what you give off. That is very interesting, and I'm very appreciative towards that. That's like a goal. Yes. Like, I'm not sexy for a change. Awesome. Yes, I've hit a goal. I'm not sexy. Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody sexy now? Okay, sorry. I just was really happy about that. Oh, hold on, guys. Ustream lost connection. Ustream lost connection. That's the second time that's happened within the beginning of this new season. Super weird. Okay, Kyle, no, I was saying you're loud enough for Francis's grandparents. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I hope I'm loud enough. Yeah, you're cool because you're experiencing the person and not the person's. Your stream tripping persona. That's why I switched over. Yeah, that's weird that the Ustream's tripping. I'm sorry, guys on Ustream that are pulling through that because I literally just ended or like stream went out of service, which is crazy because I have service and the FPS or the KBPSs are not high, so that's weird that it did that. Let's see. Waist trainer. Dwan finds waist trainers very disturbing. It's very fascinating when I see females. Males can wear it too, I'm sure, but mostly on females. Wearing it when they're working out at the gym. It almost is like a rant about Black Friday. But it's just the idea that it's interesting because it just doesn't seem, that seems like a health hazard. Like, that seems like that's super dangerous. Like, why would you, this doesn't seem like that's, like, I understand the ones where bodybuilders will wear the belt to help support them, but, like, the waist trainers just seem a little weird. That's almost like you wearing glasses indoors. Like, there's really no point, and why are you doing it? I don't know. If you want a slimmer waist, it's called the gym, and you do it naturally. You don't have the help from some fabric and wires. That just seems weird. I don't know. I've never tried it, so it might work. But basically, it doesn't seem like it would actually do much. But whatever. That's like foot binding in China. Like, seriously? Whatever. Do what you want nowadays, girls. Do what you want. Do what makes you feel comfortable. But I don't think I would do it. Sorry. So I will not do an advertisement for waist trainers. Not doing it. Sorry. You can pay me $1 million. Actually, if you paid me $1 million, I might do it. But pretty sure they would never pay me $1 million to do it. They would pay like Kate Moss $1 million to do it. Or Beyonce. More like Beyonce. They wouldn't pay Kate Moss $1 million to do it. Anyway, sorry. Again, random tangent. My phone's not advanced enough for apps, so this works for me. Sorry, Dewan, that you have to unfortunately go through Ustream because now I am realizing that Ustream is not that fun, or it's not that easy. Sounds like a push-up bra as far as the waist trainers. Yeah, although push-up bras I will get into just because they're a little bit more like, Francis loves the idea. I just kind of like, I think push-up bras are fine. I'll use them for like shoots and stuff. I wouldn't really wear them in normal day clothes. Francis wants to literally go to Victoria's Secret and buy me one of those like Victoria's Secret bombshell bras, the ones that like are supposed to make your cup size go up by 2 cups. And I'm like, Francis, seriously, do I really need 2 more cup sizes in my boobs? Like, I know I don't have the biggest boobs in the world, but I really don't need them that big. But that goes to show you what kind of person he is. He loves boobs, and so like, whatever, I'll do whatever makes you happy, and I'll wear it for photo shoots if you want to buy it for me. I think it's fine. I think push-up girls are actually more entertaining than anything else. They do make me feel sexier, like, bam, my boobs are up here, and look at them and stuff. But I'll just more wear them. Like, I've wore, actually, one of my push-up bras in a normal day outfit, but that was just because the outfit, like, literally, like, was a sweater, and it didn't make a difference. Well, it did make a difference. It made it more like a sweater puppy, but realistically, I'm like, whatever. Sorry, okay, I'm going on a tangent. Let's see. I like all of you. You have such great personality. Oh, thank you, Justin. This feels like old school senior portraits, or like kid portraits. Sweater puppies. I'm sure y'all have heard that, right? I'm not the only one that I don't think Francis made that up. He could have, but it doesn't seem likely he would have made that up. How do you identify a fan versus a follower? So, I identify a fan more than a follower because I just happen to see. I would say because I happen to see your name quite often, like, JRJ93802. I see your name like pop up on all my social media. But like I said, it doesn't mean you have to like every single thing that I do. I look at the people that follow my newsletters. I'm sorry for the ones that follow my newsletters. I know I haven't posted a newsletter in like 5 years. But I like notice that if you're following my newsletters, if you email me back based on my newsletters, if you're, on my episodes either liking it or just randomly showing up, like just randomly like saying hey and then like, oh, I gotta go, and just leaving. Or if you watch it, sorry, I don't mean to give you the middle finger, or if you're just go on YouTube and you watch it, if you comment on any of my things, like I know Instagram I don't really respond to comments too much just because I don't like how they organize it, but I see all of your comments. I see all of your likes. Again, like I said, you don't have to like everything, but I'm very aware of my social media and who's actually being more involved than others. If I say something on Twitter and you respond to it, I see that. If I say something on Facebook, I see that as well. So Sino Edwards, I've seen your name. I see a lot of people's names. I might not know your name, like your first name. I might know your username more than your actual first name, but I see it nonetheless. And I've been doing it for a while that I just kind of know. So I know the ones that I've started from the very beginning, and I know the ones that are just like brand new within the past like 3 weeks. Like if you just started 3 weeks ago, I kind of am starting to get the vibe. If you're being very active, I'm starting to get the vibe that like you're really in it for me, and other like and then I'll also see certain followers or fans or supporters. I like to call y'all supporters. I'll see certain supporters on my social media, and then I'll go and see them on another model's social media, and I'm like, awesome, like, they're also supporting other models, like, this is awesome, like, it's cool to be, like, when a person tells me that I'm their favorite model, like, it's really nice, and I'm like, yay, that's really cute, or not cute, but, like, really sincere, and really awesome for me to hear that, but even also me seeing that my supporters are rooting for other models, especially freelance models, I'm like, yes, that's awesome. Like, it's cool to see, like, us relating with other photographers, or not photographers, but followers and stuff like that. Like, there's a model that is the complete opposite of me. Like, seriously, different hair colors, different skin tone, different height, different, body shape, everything. And I saw a supporter of mine also supporting their work. Like, it's just awesome to see that. So you don't have to just be, like, only Shima. Like, you can if you want. Like, literally, if I am your favorite, that's awesome. I'm not going to push you to go somewhere else, but if you also happen to like other models too, don't feel ashamed or anything like that. Like, I think it's awesome that if you like other models just equally as me, or even if I'm not your favorite, but I just happen to follow in your like top 10, like, I still think that's cool. I feel like awesome. Like, I feel like, yes! I am interesting enough that this person is a supporter of me, because it's just interesting. Like, it's not the idea that like y'all, like, I have y'all as my supporters. It's more that I am your supporter, or you're supporting me. I'm trying to make sense of this, but I'm not. I just feel like I'm rambling by this point. But nonetheless, like, be you. And if you love me, I'm happy about it. If you don't love me, whatever, but I'm happy that you're at least watching this by this point. Like, literally, if you're listening to me right now in this spiel, you are a supporter. Seriously. Even if you skipped to this part, you're a supporter because you just happened to magically find this part. And I love you. So, anyways, okay, I'm quickly trying to finish the Ustream chat, and then I'm gonna have to go because, yeah, it's almost pretty much time to go. Because I don't want to kill your day or night, evening, whatever. Let's see. Like, the one time when I soloed your stream 2 weeks ago, laugh aloud supporter, hashtag supporter, I know, right? I noticed that too, like, if you're literally the only one that likes something, I'll obviously know it. let's see. at at Kyle, I can appreciate the dedication. I seriously can appreciate it too, Kyle. I don't know how you've stuck with me this long. Seriously, I would have blown my head off by now. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm awesome. It's funny because there is, and this is the last thing I'm going to say actually, so I'm sorry everyone else on Ustream that I couldn't actually read anything. I'll read it after I stop streaming. But I have this project that I'm going to hopefully release beginning of the new year. I'm excited for it. I'm also nervous for it, but I'm excited for it. And so me and Francis were on Friday kind of discussing the ideas that I'm going to put towards this project and how I'm going to help, maintain it and all this other stuff. And so I'm really excited for it. But there was a moment where me and Francis both don't, like, me and Francis, honestly, he actually would listen to podcasts, like, from zero to the end. Like, he actually will sit through an entire podcast and listen. Me, on the other hand, I wouldn't really. I kind of trail in and out. Like, I get distracted easily, so I'm not really good with podcasts and stuff. But there's a moment where we don't really know how to handle this new project I'm going to be doing because it's more focused for y'all, my supporters or fans. And so I am very curious because we both don't really know, because we've never done it before, we don't really know how my supporters will react to it and what they will actually want from it and things along those lines. So I am going to choose a lucky few of my supporters to actually reach out to them and ask them questions. So you might be the lucky one. It's just a random pick that I'm going to do. So don't feel ashamed or sad if you don't get a random email from me or something. But within this next week, I'm actually going to, I appreciate it. You might be the one, you might be on that list. It's just going to be a random pick on all of the ones that actually are supporters. But I'm going to randomly choose a few people to ask their opinions toward this new project. It's going to be a secret, so the ones that I do choose, you cannot share it for any means. Don't go and slip and tell. I know I'm not like that huge of a person where you're going to be like, oh, L.Shima's newest thing. But nonetheless, it's one of those things that kind of just want to hear a fan or a supporter's opinion and what they would be more interested in and kind of thing. So if you end up being the one that I kind of message, you might be the one that this is aiming towards. So kind of use your honest opinion towards it. And I always like hearing y'all's thoughts and opinions and questions and things like that towards the projects and photos that I do. Like, I really honestly love hearing it. I want to know. It makes me grow a lot better. It makes me dedicate a lot of things to you. So I like to hear what you have to say about certain things. So yeah, so if you are one of the supporters, if you're one of the biggest supporters of my life, you may get a message. If you're not a supporter and you just might happen to get a message anyways, I have no idea. That might not work because I actually will go through all of my social media and find the actual supporters. But this is going to be fun, I think, because I feel like some of them are going to be very interesting, and I'm kind of scared at the same time because y'all scare me and you make me nervous. So we'll see how this week goes. But seriously, if you get an email from me, be ready because you're going to be changing a lot of game. You're going to literally be helping me create a project that will be releasing in the new year. And I know y'all are harmless, but I'm still scared of you. Y'all are gonna like throw me and like I'm just kidding. No, you don't. Y'all are so sweet. But anyways, y'all, so if you're a supporter, look out for possible an email. And if you don't get an email and you are a supporter, don't feel hurt about it. Literally, I'm sure I have like at least a good 25 supporters, and I'm only gonna be messaging like maybe 5 people. So because if I literally messaged all 25 of y'all, I literally would be having maybe all of these different like ideas, and I would just be still confused. So I'm just gonna limit myself to like 5 people. So and they're not getting any, like, y'all are not getting any one-ups of everyone else. Like, it's not like anything special. Y'all are not like getting something, like, not saying like you're, if you're the one that I message, it doesn't say like you're the special one. Although you are special, all of y'all are special, but I don't want the ones that don't get an email thinking, oh, I'm not special. You're special. All of y'all are special. That was a really ugly face, and I'm sorry. I might make that, though, my YouTube post. Anyways, alright, y'all. Sorry, I'm rambling now. And, gotta breathe for a second. And let me do my advertisement for Moose Jaw, because I am advertising Moose Jaw. Just kidding, I'm not advertising Moose Jaw. But, okay, guys. I appreciate y'all being here and watching another episode of Be Cool, episode 5. I talked about boobs. It wasn't as extreme as maybe you were hoping for, but it was nonetheless boobs and boobs and boobs and boobs and butts here and there. But stay tuned for episode 6 for next week, and good night, everyone, or good morning, wherever you're watching this, and bye, Ustream, and bye, Periscope, and have a awesome night, day, evening, weekend, week, whenever you're watching this. Okay, bye!